News First, Prime Time Sunrise.
Hello there, very good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Prime Time Sunrise with me, Shane Silva, on the 10th of April 2015. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. President says the government is committed to assuring an opportunity for children to move ahead with new technology. Special train service in lieu of Sinhala and Tamil New Year. On to your stories in detail now. President Maithripala Sirisena says that the government is committed towards assuring an opportunity for children to move ahead with new technology. The president made this statement while attending an event to vest a newly constructed, fully equipped computer unit at Royal College Polonnaruwa to its students.
The computer unit, which was constructed at a cost of 7 million rupees, was vested to Royal College Polonnaruwa. Subsequent to vesting the computer unit to the school students, President Sirisena engaged in an inspection tour and held cordial discussion with the students. Meanwhile, Bhutanese Prime Minister Shering Tobgay, who arrived in the island on a 3-day visit, is scheduled to meet with President Maithripala Sirisena today. The presidential media unit said that President Sirisena and the Bhutanese Prime Minister will meet at the Presidential Secretariat. During this meeting, President Sirisena and Prime Minister Tobgay will hold bilateral discussions where several agreements will be signed. Bhutanese Prime Minister Shering Tobgay arrived in the island last night for a 3-day official visit. The Ministry of External Affairs said that during his visit, the Bhutanese Premier will meet with President Maithripala Sirisena, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and several other high-ranking government officials.
In the meantime, large crowds are arriving to pay their respects to the mortal remains of the late chief prelate of the Askiri chapter of the Siam sect, the most venerable Udugama Sri Buddha Rakita Thero.
The remains of the late chief prelate, which were taken from Colombo to Kandy in a vehicle procession yesterday, is currently lying at the Kandy Askiri Mahaviharaya. Devotees as well as clergy of the Mahasangha arrived at the Viharya to pay their respects to the late chief prelate. The final rites of the late most venerable Udugama Sri Buddha Rakita Thero are scheduled to be conducted on Sunday, the 12th of April, with full state honours.
As mentioned in your headlines this morning, now the Department of Railways says that a special train service will be in effect for the festive season.
General Manager of the department, Vijay Amarathunga, noted that this train service will travel to Mathura, Anuradhapura, Gaul and Mahawar. In the meantime, the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association will also operate a special bus service from today for the convenience of those who are leaving for their hometowns for the new year. Accordingly, 2,000 private buses will be deployed for the convenience of the commuters. The Lanka Private Bus Owners Association has accorded facilities to reserve buses to cater to the needs of persons travelling in groups, and reservations for groups could be done by logging on to www.lankaprivatebus.com and contacting them over the phone.
Another group of Sri Lankan nationals who were evacuated to Djibouti from Yemen arrived in the island today. Newsfirst contacted the Deputy General Manager of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Mangala Ramdenia, in this regard.
Sri Lankans working in Yemen have already been asked to come back to Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs jointly did this operation, and we could get 26 Sri Lankans day before yesterday, and we are getting another set of 16 Sri Lankans stranded in Yemen and who have been sent to Djibouti, and they have been now sent with the assistance of this Kenyan Sri Lanka High Commission to Sri Lanka via Qatar. So we are asking still, if there is any Sri Lankans remaining in Yemen, please contact Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Consular Section in order to expedite the evacuation and the repatriation of these workers due to this arising situation in Yemen.
Staying in local news, the police say the son of the woman who was killed in the Kotaketana area in Kahawatha has confessed to the killing. According to police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara, the suspect is due to be produced before the Palmadulla magistrate today. The police arrested the 18-year-old son of the woman last evening. Investigations into the murder of the sub-inspector attached to the Bandaragama police have been handed over to the Criminal Investigations Department. According to a high-ranking official in charge of the Western Province, another 5 teams have been deployed to carry out investigations. The sub-inspector attached to the Bandaragama police was murdered with a sharp weapon at his residence in Panadura. The chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, MB Disanayaka, states that the arrears pertaining to the purchase of paddy, which had to be provided to the farmers, will be paid today. He stated that the payment of arrears was delayed by a few days.
130,000 metric tons of paddy had been purchased from paddy purchasing centres all over the island, and our goal was reached. We had arrears of 2 to 3 days, and we obtained 10 million from the treasury and distributed them to the farmers through the relevant district secretaries. We have already started repaying the arrears and are planning on completing this before the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Therefore, we could state that the paddy purchasing program has been completely successful.
The Inter-University Students' Federation convened a media briefing yesterday.
They have now started sending security units to the homes of students activists to instill fear. They are doing so under the pretext of informing the students of assistance that is to be provided to these students and for them to choose what assistance they require. This was done during the previous Rajapaksa administration. This is because they used to visit 10 to 15 houses a week. They came into power to oppose this. We are not the ones who claimed on stage that we will put an end to this and stop attacks on students. White vans have started appearing and threatening student activists. Only 2.5 to 3 months have passed by.
Baduralia Sports Club and Singhali Sports Club clinched victories yesterday to qualify into the finals of the SLC 2020 tournament. Details of the first and second semi-finals of the SLC 2020 tournament and more news are coming up on the Sports Roundup.
Baduralia Sports Club took on Nondescripts Cricket Club in the first semi-final played at the Singhali Sports Club yesterday. Batting first, NCC scored 135 in their allotted 20 overs, to which Baduralia Sports Club chased their target in 19.2 overs to clinch a 5-wicket win. In the second semi-final, SCC beat Coles Cricket Club by 8 wickets to secure the second spot in the final. Kingswood College Kandy beat CWW Kannangarud quite comprehensively in their encounter of the inter-school rugby tournament yesterday. Kingswood College were well ahead at Lemons, leading 41-0. The Kingswoodians continued to dominate in the second half and only added to their scoreline to finish the game 16-0, scoring 9 tries.
And that's a look at this edition of Newsfirst Primetime Sunrise. It was a pleasure having you with us and hope you have a great day ahead.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.